Hello, this is Heisenberg here at the DC Collectibles booth, and Jim, the man in charge, to show us around. Alrighty, Jim. So what do we have here today?
Well, welcome to Toy Fair, first of all. Very excited to show you what we've got. So we're going to start with our longest running statue series that we have. It's going on over 10 years, probably closer to 15 years, actually. The Batman Black and White series. We've got a Kenneth Rocafort statue, which is a really dynamic new version of Batman, not really seen before. It's Kenneth's interpretation of what Batman would look like if he was drawing the book. And then you've got a Marc Silvestri reissue statue. And I'd like people to see here is when we do reissue statues, the base is reversed. You can see the bottom of the base here is white as opposed to black like the first editions. But Man Who Laughs by Greg Capullo sold out really quickly. So we decided to go back and repaint him with a super fancy chrome finish up there. So he's kind of neat at the show.
Excellent.
Toy Fair first. Batman sitting down.
Oh,
So
there
in all
you
the
go.
Batman Black and White line, we have never had him just sitting down in a chair. And there he is. So you don't have to see anything else for the rest of the show because you'll never see anything that exciting again. But there he is. Marc Silvestri's design is really cool. It's full of intricate details, which is really neat to see. And then Joe Madureira is the newest one for the show. And again, this line really speaks to what DC Collectibles brings to the table, taking art-specific styles and making them three-dimensional. So we just looking at diversity of Batman Black and White is always fun to see. A companion piece to Batman is this Harley red, white, and black line. This is a piece by John Timms, which is really fun. Harley's either stolen something out of the Batcave. I don't know how she got some of Batman's equipment, but she's obviously trying it on the size to see how it fits. Really cool piece. And then a neat dichotomy back there is a really creepy Greg Horn Harley, where she's holding a mask here from the man, looks like from the Man Who Laughs from the Metal series. Although she never appeared like that in the book, there was a cover that he painted that looks like that. So really interesting pieces for Harley.
Excellent.
We're going to move on to the Batman Family multi-part statue. The newest one of these at the show that hadn't been seen is Red Hood. The multi-part statue was designed in-house by the DC Collectibles team, and we're really proud of it. It holds together really well, and what I actually like is all the little gargoyles that they're standing on actually have something to do with the character. Nightwing's elephant harkens back to his circus days. Robin has his Goliath from the other book he was in. And what's really nice about these is they're finished on every side. So if you're only a Nightwing fan, then you could just buy this Nightwing statue that holds up by itself. I would suggest, however, you buy all of them and put them all together because it's a multi-part statue after all. So, but you can reconfigure them any way you want. You can put them together however you like because of the way the buildings are structured. So we're really proud of this statue and happy that it's here for Toy Fair.
Oh, excellent.
So your DC fans probably have heard of the Metal book that was out for a long time, based on the art of Greg Capullo and written by Scott Snyder. What's interesting about this line is some of these figures have really interesting little things that we don't normally do on statues. Like, for instance, Dawnbreaker has either his regular hand or he has this very strange energy power hand that he's doing. Batman over there has Baby Darkseid, something else we have never done at DC Collectibles. Baby Darkseid's finally here. But you know what? If Batman gets tired of carrying that baby around, you can actually magnetically take all that off and just give him this other angry head down here so we can just stand around looking mad like Batman has been known to do. Devastator, besides being one of the coolest things that we have at the show, and he's so big he's crushing his own base, actually has a magnetic head. So you can reposition his head around.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you feel like being kooky, you can even put it on upside down, but, you know, we'll leave that to the collectors to display how they want. But it's a really cool feature on him. You can see it sticks on there pretty well, so it's pretty neat. The Murder Machine back there also has magnetic arms that you'll be able to interchange. There's two different sets. And we also have the Drowned, then we have Red Death, and then at the end of the year, you've got the Man Who Laughs with his minions. The detail in that statue is super cool, and the Man Who Laughs has been a breakout character for DC this year. As you see, we'll go through, you've already seen a Harley version of that. There's more of these as we go around the rest of the showroom. And a neat little detail is Robin's actually scratching out, well, Robin, not really, this version of him, he's actually scratching out the bottom of the base. So it's a really nice line of statues, and they start in the beginning of the year around spring and they go all the way to the end of the year, coming out almost monthly. So we're really proud of these statues. I think they look fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing DC Collectibles has been known for is our designer series statues. These are our 12-inch statues that we've been doing for years. And at the show right now is this Jenny Frison Wonder Woman, which is really great. It really reflects her cover art pretty well. We took our Jim Lee Batman Black and White and blew him up and resculpted him bigger because this piece sold very well for us and he was gone pretty quickly, so we wanted to go represent Jim's work bigger. Which is cool about this is this special effect of him twirling one of his bow staffs around. We thought that was actually a pretty cool. Looks really neat. This is brand new. Just got here yesterday. So this is the Frank Miller statue from the famous cover. That was a dream of mine to work on since I'd been at Collectibles. So I was really psyched to work on that with Jonathan Matthews, who's one of our sculptors we've had working with us for the longest time. He really did a great job. And interesting about this one, he went back and did it traditionally. We do a lot of stuff digitally now, but this one we decided we really wanted to keep that gritty feel of Frank's cover, so we went back and did it old school.
Oh yeah.
So then the Lee Bermejo Batman is really neat, also sculpted by industry veteran Gene St. Jean. The way he had to build all this armor in here was really interesting. It's almost like he's making real chainmail at a minuscule scale, but Lee Bermejo is one of my favorite illustrators, so we were really happy to do anything with Lee's work, because it's just great, and that's going to be from our Black Label series.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. So if you can't get enough Batman, luckily for you guys, we have more Batman. If you can just focus on Steven's tie for a minute here, I'd like to say how much Batman is actually at the show, because this is the first Batman tie I have seen at the whole event. So.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I'm glad you stopped there. I was wondering.
All right,
so
okay.
very nice.
Well, you're not the only crazy guy, you know?
That is factual. So DC Prime Batman action figure. This is a 9-inch Batman figure that we're super psyched to do. We're finally going up to a bigger scale for our action figures because we want to take the same level of detail and intricate design that we put into our statues and get it into the figures. It's going to have a really heavy bendable wire cape. This isn't the final base, but it will be on a pretty good sized base like this with a big support display system that will be able to hold the figure up. He's heavily articulated. He comes with 3 different heads, like 4 sets of hands, a couple of different batarangs. I don't know if you can quite see them, but he's got 3 completely different batarangs here. And he's also got the grappling gun that will clip onto the back of his belt. So it's a really cool piece, and the team really put a lot of effort into this. So we're hoping if this does well, we'll continue this line with many other characters. So for the ultimate Batman fan, for DC Collectibles in an action figure form, DC Essentials has been a line that's been very successful for us. So on display right now, we have Harley and Nightwing, Wonder Woman and Cheetah, and what I'd like to talk about with these two is actually one of the things Collectibles decided to do this year was make a set of action figure bases. Our figures stopped coming with bases a while ago, so this is $10 for 2 of these bases. And what I like about these is that on the display stand, if you can see over here, it has 3 sets of screws plus this clip. And if you can, these will work really well. You can tighten them up. If they're a little loose when you get them, you just tighten them up with a small Phillips head screwdriver.
This is so clever.
Yeah, and they should hold up pretty well. If you hold this for a minute, I'll show you how the figure attaches. So basically, there's just a clip here on the end, and you can see once the screw is in there pretty tight, it should hold the figure up pretty well. And it's just with a the clip, or you can wear it as a big oversized ring if that's what you want to do. So, thanks. So that's pretty neat. And then we've got Cyborg Superman, excuse me, and Supergirl. We don't see a lot of Cyborg Superman. I mean, he's a cool character, so I'm glad we got to put him in this line. Batgirl and Joker, and the newest addition over here is Red Hood, standing at the lonely Wayne grave over there, because he's kind of a moody guy.
Oh, excellent.
Okay.
Got Supergirl here. Oh yeah, Supergirl's looking good. Oh yeah, looking good.
Okay, now for literally the biggest thing at our booth at Toy Fair is a life-size Harley. This Harley is actually a little bigger than life-size. We're going to shrink her down until she's the correct size, which is about 5'6" or so. But she's on a big base here. That's going to be different when it ships out. It's going to be distributed exclusively by Sideshow. And we're
thought it was strictly a prop for here.
No, it's strictly a real thing. So, I mean, you're obviously going to have one in your house, I'd imagine. So it's pretty cool. And she's in Valentine's Day colors, of course, so just in time for Toy Fair. But we decided to go with there's a lot of versions of Harley. We decided we better go with the classic, Paul Dini, Bruce Timm created one, and that's her in her first appearance.
I agree.
So, yeah, we could have gone a lot of directions, but we decided, and it just looks great at this size.
It does.
Again, this was digitally enlarged by a company called Monster City Studios back in LA. They took our Batman black and white statue, which is 7 inches tall, and blew it up to bigger than life. So now it'll be actually life size when it comes out.
Oh, fun.
So something a little different for Batman collectors, especially for your audience. We're doing a line called Lucha Explosiva. So we've brought the world of Lucha Libre and superheroes of DC and combined them. What's really fun about this is when you think of all the similarities there are with the two genres. I mean, a lot of these wrestlers have masks. Most of our heroes have some kind of mask. They have secret identities that don't get revealed. So do our characters, and they even have capes sometimes. And so do everybody we do work with mostly. So what's fun about this line is they're going to be pretty posable. You'll be able to get them into some neat wrestling moves. You're going to have the Tecticos, which are the good guys, and the Rudos, which will be people like Deathstroke, who's so mean he smashed Batman's face into the back of his chair over there. So he'll come with like 2 chairs. He can dual wield as he fights in the ring. You have Metallo 2. There's a story behind that, but we can't reveal it yet. But he's not the first Metallo. And they all have interesting backstories, and we're going to be celebrating a lot of the culture that goes along with this stuff in this action figure line.
Have you worked on any of these personally?
Yeah, this line, I've worked on all the tattoo designs, a lot of the other things on this.
It shows, thanks.
Yeah, they're really fun. This line, I can't wait till San Diego, so we're going to have a lot more of these out by then. Right. But it's a line the whole design team is really excited about.
Oh, fun. So again, this is a original to DC Collectibles.
Yeah, this is something we actually built ourselves, like we have with another thing we're going to talk about called Engines of Chaos, DC Bombshells. That's the kind of thing the in-house teams have been developing a lot of. Yes. And everything we've done so far, we've gotten a really great reaction. So we're really happy to be able to continue in these spaces and build new IP for the company.
Oh, yeah.
It's really fun. We just had this really cool design. This base is not obviously final. I don't want to give away trade secrets. Made out of foam core, so if you look at it too closely. But we had Jesse Hernandez came up with this cool graphic for the front of the base. He might be working with us on something later in the future, but his design work is really cool here. So here's something neat. So DC Gallery Batcals, and I told you we would get back to the Man Who Laughs, and he's right over there. Came in the other day, piping hot for Toy Fair, and very pointy, and cut somebody when they open the box. So that'll be fun when it comes out. But he's a bad guy, so But the Batcals are great. They're really for people that want to display their Batman love. If you want to hold one of these, Stephen, you can get the sense of the weight. They're pretty heavy.
Yes, they are. They would make a good murder weapon.
Well, not why we're selling them, but sure, I guess. I don't know if we're allowed to endorse such statements. Yeah. But yeah, they're really heavy. You could definitely, maybe bookends or paperweights.
Bookends. much
hey, let's clean this up a little bit. Yeah.
Much more civilized.
But they're really cool. I mean, there's the Arkham one, obviously. We've got a Rebirth Batman cowl. You've got the Dark Knight Returns, and we got the Man Who Laughs. So they're $90, and we think they're pretty substantial. And if you really want to, show your Batman love, there's enough Batman cowls for everybody. So, big question for you, Stephen. Which Batman cowl would you want to see?
This one.
Oh, okay. Done. You're welcome.
How long it took me to make that decision?
That was pretty fast. Is there any other Batmans you can think of you'd want to see represented? I mean, obviously, we're going to do more than these 4.
Not right now. This is all new to me, so I need some time to think about it, Jim.
Okay. We'll get back to you.
Please.
Okay.
Oh, probably,
okay.
Yeah.
Next time we'll interview you and figure out which ones you want to do.
I suggest issue 1, or first appearance.
That is on my list.
Of course, yeah.
Well,
first appearance.
Leaning me towards this. Yeah.
The big ears. Yeah. Or Kelly Jones also was another illustrator did the big tall ears.
So I would second that.
Yeah. The first appearance one is actually pretty cool, especially when you actually look how the ears are constructed. They're a little curvy. They're not. We just think they're just straight up and down. But when you look at the art, they actually aren't. But that's one we would definitely want to get to.
Thank you.
I mean, how do you not? Right? That's why he's here in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
So Engines of Chaos, we mentioned briefly a minute ago. This is one other new concept that we're doing. It's basically a sort of a post-apocalyptic, actually it's post-Ra's al Ghul. he finally accomplished what he wanted to do, wiping the slate clean, and the characters that are left are just going to be picking up the pieces and trying to survive, basically. So this Batman here, there's a lot of storytelling behind all this. Riley Rossmo is the artist on this stuff, and he did a great, there's some of his concept art. Yeah. He did a really great job, and our team back in the office did a great job capturing all the motion and storytelling in here. Again, I don't have the whole story of what this is. We're still working it out, but it's a pretty exciting, it's a pretty exciting statue line. What's really cool in this Lobo design is that his dog is going to be running around like a hamster wheel in the back of the big wheel on the bike. That's the concept art for that. And Ivy looks great. She'll be the only character that has green on the base. Everybody else will have these like desolate or dusty things, but because of the kind of character she is, she'll be able to just make things happen. You know, tidy the place up a bit, or make it greener at least. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they're pretty fun. We're still working out the pricing on these. There's a lot of intricate detail on here, so we're not really sure where they're going to roll in yet.
Not the sort of collectible you'd want to have to dust,
no. No, dusting them would not be too fun. Although the next collectible would be very easy to dust, and you're going to show it off to the fans yourself. No. There you are, so you have to hold it. All right, here you go. Put this on, if you would. So this is our Wonder...
Oh, yes, definitely.
So this is our Wonder Woman shield. It's based on a few different comic artist styles that we found back in the office. So it's not any one particular illustrator,
Something
but
you found laying around back at the office.
Yeah, we decided just to send it to the show and try to sell it. And look how beat it up it is already. It's all battled, worn. But yeah,
that's right. You call it battle worn, right?
Yeah. So obviously it's been through some stuff, but it's a combination of a bunch of different Wonder Womans. If you want to turn it around, you can actually. You should do the rest of the show with me. It'd be a lot easier to show this thing.
Right, yeah.
So you can see it's got some straps on the inside.
Very well done.
Yeah, pretty hefty.
This is a one-off.
That is, but it's in China right now in production. So we're trying to get through the costing. But
so this is a highly collectible Wonder Woman shield.
Yeah, and it's based on, it's sort of like, it's more comic book centric, not based on the movie at all, as you can see. But also good for getting a seat on Subway, right? You can just fight your way in. So there it is. Thank you, Vanna.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
You should have a home one day in the Wonder Woman Museum.
Oh, yes, this one should.
Which is a personal friend.
We can probably figure something out for that, but yeah, that piece does belong there for sure. That's really cool. Okay. So, a different version of Gotham. You know, Gotham's always been a pretty dark and rough place to live compared to maybe Metropolis, as we all know. So something's gone horribly wrong here, as you can see. Things just aren't working out well for anybody. So Artist Alley is a great line for ours, which is working out well for DC Collectibles, actually. We have everything from these crazy James Groman designs to his original Mad Balls illustrator, and then down to Chrissy Zullo, which is a very different looking, obviously, take on our figures. But this line allows us to use artists that we don't normally do editorial work with. So they're not doing comic book covers or interiors. They're just designers working on the outside. And it's literally called Artist Alley because we walk through Artist Alley and that's where we find these people. So I've known some of these guys a long time, like Chrissy I've known for years. She was actually found at a DC talent search, a portfolio review. And she got work doing Vertigo stuff early on, and now she's contributing this stuff for us. So really nice looking stuff, and the detail in the James Groman things is just insane. He actually designed these and sculpted them himself.
I believe it.
So this stuff's great. Yeah, really nice. Again, another new fan base for DC Collectibles to be in. It's a more of a vinyl designer underground type toy thing. These statues are, I don't know if you remember these, Stephen. I mean, these were like originally about this big. When we first made them, they're pretty big statues. We decided to shrink them down and just to, get them at a different entry price point. It's been years since he's been in the market.
Down the price too, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be about $150. These are just unpainted prototypes, which I actually think look really cool like that. Actually, they look like little marble statues.
I thought that was the finished product.
Well, we're debating and maybe doing something like that because I like them better like this than maybe they'll be painted. But they're pretty cool looking. So yeah, these were really fun to work on when we did them. I mean, they're really beautiful, big pieces, but they work really well at this size actually.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's a good looking horse.
Actually, yeah, nice. That is a good look. Phil Ramirez sculpted that piece, and he had to do a lot of research. Horses are not easy to draw or sculpt. Actually, they have a lot going on. The anatomy's totally different. And same with, Killer Croc. I mean, where do you even find a model for that? There's nowhere to go. You can't go to a horse farm or an anatomy book. So that was a funny statue. That actually drew on the train on the way into work, and then Walter O'Neill did a way better drawing of it. We finished up the statue. But that piece is done really well. All these have been reproduced by us a number of times at the larger size already. So wanted a new entry point. One of our favorite things to work on. Oh, look at that. Wow, applause. That's the first applause we've gotten at the show. DC Bombshells is still continuing.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a project that's near and dear to everybody's heart on the design team. There's hundreds of other projects out there based on bombshell stuff that we don't make.
Yes.
So this is our bombshell celebration statue. We're just going to make a larger size statue. They're the same size as usual, but there's two of them, so it's a bigger statue overall. Really cool with Supergirl's I-beams coming out of the top over there. And
that was the first thing that drew me to it. What a nice, clever, treatment.
It looks really good. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of motion in the piece. And we've used the same creative team we have along the way for all the bombshells. It's still Tim Miller doing the sculpting.
If I turn this just a bit?
Yeah, you hold this and I'll turn it.
All right. So people viewing this can see the effect on her eyes.
Oh, yeah. There we are.
Actually, just leave it like that. It's probably better.
All right.
There you go.
Excellent.
So that's really a nice statue. So it's got a lot going on. And again, this price point's about $250, so it's about, there's two figures, it's about double the price of the normal statues.
Oh, it works beautifully.
It's really cool. Yeah, Ant did a nice job with that. And then Bombshell's Death. That's something we hadn't gotten to yet, so we really wanted to get to that one. It's a really cool take on that character with an interesting concept, I think. With a trademark umbrella, so we have to have that in all the death statues that we do. And it's still really true to the character, just a different version that, sticking with the, inspired by the 40s kind of vibe, but modernizing them when we want to. And then you have Mary Shazam over here. That the illustration's just in, the sculpt's in progress. We didn't have a chance to bring it here, but it looks great. And that looks, when you look at Ant's drawings and the way Tim translates them into 3D, they're pretty spot on. He really has been nailing those.
Excellent.
And the DC Cover Girls, Joelle Jones is one of our premier artists at DC, and we decided to make her the next Cover Girls artist. So we've got Wonder Woman, Black Canary with our traditional real stockings. You can see real fishnets, not painted. And then Huntress over there, which is also in progress but almost done. But she's been really fun to work with. Her work is really beautiful. This Wonder Woman's great. There's a lot of tension even in just a static pose, even though she's just standing there, but the rope and the way the arms are pulled.
It's not easy to do, in a static pose to have that much energy.
Yeah, and especially with the rope twisting around, and there's a lot of motion in the hair. Even with Black Canary here, there's a lot going on, even in a fairly jumping up and down pose. There's still a lot of motion in there.
So it's the lasso is a wire, I take it?
Yep. There you go. Or you can animate it. There you go. Oh, perfect. Animated statues. Another first at DC Collectibles.
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
Okay. So Batman Animated, the toy line near and dear to most of our collectors' hearts. It's still rolling along. You've got a Two-Face. This is the original Two-Face and original Scarecrow, which we didn't get to until now. But we're over 40 figures into the line, almost 50, I think, at this point. I was really excited to get Hardak here. I just always liked that cool version of Batman. But what's even more fun about him is, there you go. Oh. The bat head is off, and the robot head is on. And if you can see, he's got his gun hands.
Right.
Like on the animation, so that one's really cool. And I'm going to show you some features on this Bat Cycle, so I'm going to have, once again, Stephen, if you want to do me a favor and hold that.
Yes.
So what's cool about this Bat Cycle is, first of all, the figure's totally sculpted brand new, so we had to resculpt them to sit on this thing, because the other figures wouldn't really work that well. So it's got rolling wheels. It'll actually have, now lights are blown out, of course, it's a toy fair, but anyway, it lights up here, and there's some interior lights here. What's interesting about the base is it's reversible. So you can have him riding on the side with the sewer cap, or you can just have the kind of Art Deco-y style blades it came with originally. And this swivels, you can, because of the little smoke blast, you can keep the Bat Cycle on there, and You can keep it straight, or you can put it on an angle.
Price
you can move
point,
it around.
About.
He's like, see, this $60 for the Batman on the bike. Then we put the old toy from last year because it's still funny. That Harley is great. All right. Then we're working on a line with Paul Dini and Ty Templeton. So, you know, we talked to Paul and said there's a lot of things you probably didn't get to do, you know, when the show was on. And DC's come out with a lot of figures, I mean, a lot of new characters since that show aired, obviously. Like, oh.
I got it.
Like Azrael over here and Red Hood. And, you know, Deathstroke was never on on anything before because his name's too scary. So we're working with those two guys and doing a new line of figures.
Oh, yeah.
Yet to be titled. So, but pretty cool. They look great. We're really excited about those. And, oh, sorry. I literally just showed up here this morning. We glued it together and put it on the floor. So you were the first people to air that, to get a picture of that. So Stephen Lenzilla strikes again with a Toy Fair first. How does he do it, ladies and gentlemen? The Magic Man.
I know the right people. That's it.
That's it. So that's really cool. That just showed up today. So we're pretty excited about this line. And there's Toy Fair.
Oh, excellent.
What do you think of that?
I think
So-
you're an incredible guy, and whatever they pay you,
Well,
they're not paying you enough.
Thank you. Make sure that's the first thing on this interview that gets aired.
So